Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ada, a makeup artist and an interior designer based in Port Harcourt, Nigeria. If you're stopping by for the first time, you're definitely welcome. Today's video is a makeup tutorial. Thank you guys so much for the love on my last post. I couldn't really talk because I had flu, but thankfully I'm okay now. So I started off with Moisture Bomb, which is a very good moisturizer, especially for dry skin. It's not like my mother had her skin was a bit dry, so I needed something that would just keep the face plump. Then for primer, I used the Rimmel Stay Matte and Maybelline baby skin primer, because these primers they are mattifying but not like a strong mattifier. So if I was working on oily skin, I wouldn't even use them. It's not like they are bad, but for that for the effect I want, if I was working on oily skin, I would prefer to use something that is a lot more mattifying. So for my model skin type, this primer works for me. If you have a normal skin, you can also use the primer. Next, I went in with this Noi illuminator. So first I applied at the back of my palm and diffused it out a little because it's very thick, before going on to the face, using my hands to just blend that into the face rather than just going directly. This will help you to control your application, and it's really nice, really nice. It gives this instant glow when you apply it, which you can see. So because I didn't want the face to look so dry. It's not like I was going for a dewy look, but I just wanted it there, and I reached out for this illuminator and I really loved the outcome. By the time I was done, you can see her face is already glowing, like from her turning left and right, and especially when light hits the face, it glows really nice. Next, I went in with this Nars luminous foundation in Tahoe and Zaron Cosmetics in Day. So this Zaron Cosmetics, it has a golden undertone, which a lot of people call yellow undertone. Yeah, and it has a very thick consistency, so I tend to just use it to mix. I don't think I've ever used the foundation alone because it is really thick. So I normally just use it with other foundations, especially when my client has a golden undertone, like a warm undertone, just like her. You know how most times even if you get the person's shade, the undertone might be different. So I just use this particular foundation to mix to get that undertone. So yeah, this is where we are blending. After the mixture, now we're blending. I'm sure you guys saw when I mixed the both foundations together. So what I did is I used less of the Zaron Cosmetics and more of Nars. Well, whichever one works. So it just depends on what you want and what you're trying to achieve. Just manage the usage or control the amount you're going to use. Yeah, so I'm just going to blend, just like so. And I'm using the Beauty brush. This is the foundation brush. A lot of people keep asking me what's the name of the brush I use. This one I'm using is brandless. It doesn't have a name. It's just a flat soft brush that can easily pass for an eyeshadow brush, but it's really soft. So I'm just using it to blend underneath the eyes where we cannot use the Beauty foundation brush at, because it has a larger base compared to this one that is really small. So it's best to use something that is not so big for under the eyes, you know, so you'll be able to properly blend your foundation in, just like I'm doing. Next up, I'm going in with this beauty blender from Rosé, and I'm just going to use it to further blend my foundation, so we have like a skin finish. Be sure that the foundation is sitting into the skin properly, you know. And as you're doing this, you're also taking off some of the foundation, hope you know, because the beauty blender would also absorb some of the foundation. Next up is Tehila. If you don't know already, this is one of my favorite blush palette. I just love it, you know. My old one, I ran out of that one. I used it till it hit the pan. Like I used them where till it got finished. So they sent me another one, and it is really nice, guys. You need to have it. If you don't have it, please go and cop it. So this is their new the new edition, and I hope I'm correct with the word. Yeah, this one comes in six palettes, yeah, compared to the initial one that had up to like 9. Yeah, so, and it has the just 2 blushes and 4 highlighters. Yes, so I'm using the orange and the red one. A mixture of both of them is what we're having here now. A mixture of the orange and the red one. So it depends on the skin type you're working on, and how concentrated you want your blush to be. You know, there's sometimes when I'm doing makeup, it depends on, you know, like the skin type too. I might just work with just the orange one, and you know, I'm fine with it. So I'm just using it to warm up the face, the perimeters of the face, after the chin, the nose. Now for the nose and the perimeters of the face, I tend to use whatever is left on the brush, rather than just go in with more products. So you can see the blend, you can see how it's turning out. It looks really nice. Up next, I'm using my all-time favorite Kelvin aucoin in 08 as my concealer. After application, I go in with this tiny, let's call it a tiny foundation brush I got from MKbeauty. MKbeauty is a Nigerian brand. You can look up for them on Instagram and buy this brush. It is really nice for easy blending under the eyes. I mean, it's multi-purpose, but this is what I use it for because it gives me what I want. So it works really well for me. So you can buy from them. I think it should be about 2,000 thereabout. It's not so expensive. But if you have any other thing that you're comfortable with to blend, perfect. So I'm just going to carefully blend under the eyes, just like so, and just make it easy for my beauty blender to do the finishing touches for me. Yeah, so that's just it. I prefer to use this, you know, to just take my time and blend it out, and it comes out really nice. All of these are part of your finished look. You know, the process determines how your finished look would be. So just take your time, you know, and you know, try and get what you want basically. So we'll blend. I really love the face. Sometimes I wish we could leave makeup just like this. You know, it's really beautiful. This stage of makeup gives makeup orgasm. If there's anything like that. Oh well. And now we are blending with our beauty blender. You can see the face already looks like I did a good job with my brush. So what this beauty blender is doing is just further pushing that product in for me, like making it sit well into the skin for my setting powder to come in. Yeah, you guys can see that blend. So for my setting powder, you guys already know that I have my concoction mix of different brands. Yeah, so I missed for this one. I think definitely RCMA is there. I think we used RCMA and Corey from Merak Cosmetics, because Merak Cosmetics Corey has this yellow undertone which I needed for my model, and I just added RCMA to further transition that yellow or golden undertone to a bit white, but still retain the color. I hope you guys understand what I mean. So yeah, this is it. I just mixed it. We have a particular container for it where we just mixed it and put it there. So if I'm working and I need it, they just reach out for it. If I don't want to use like other brands, yeah, just reach out for it. So yeah, I'm going in with a brush just to further, you know, push all of that in. And you guys know what we did now is setting. If you've been following me on, if you've been watching my videos, you know that we just did was to set that our under eyes first. Next, I went in with Charlotte Tilbury powder in, I think, the shade 3. Yes, I'm using it as a contour powder for my low light. Sometimes when I say contour, I'm forced to say low light because contour is basically low light and highlight. But for dark application, dark powder application, dark foundation application, that's, you know, something darker than the skin, everybody have decided we all now use the term contour. So well, if you say contour, you're still in line, you know, basically. So I use this Charlotte Tilbury powder as my powder contour, or contour powder, or low light powder. Just hope you understand what I mean. So next up, I'm defining the nose. I mean, you can see how I'm doing it. So you just get a flat brush. This particular one I'm using is from Morphe Cosmetics. Yeah, I bought this Morphe Cosmetics I think a year ago, and I lost some of them in the accident I had last year. Just a few ones I was able to get out of it, but oh well. So I'm using this brush from Morphe Cosmetics. It's actually really soft. You know, brushes for, like, if you want to use your brush that you're using for this should really be soft. It shouldn't be hard. If it's hard, it will leave lines on the skin. Yeah, so just like that. And I'm using that same brush that I used to do the contour for the nose. That is what I'm using, you know, to take my setting powder and do this reverse contour on the nose. It's the same brush that I'm using. Yeah, then reverse contour for the cheek, just like so. Remember to not just make it one straight line and not blend it, because if you leave it there for long and you come back to blend it, you might just see one very straight line. But if you apply like this, where it's as if you're spreading it in a way, and they will know the product will not just stick at a particular line. You understand? You'll be able to dust it off or blend it out when the time comes. Yeah. Next up is brow time. So for brows, I normally just get paper tissue, you know, by the side, especially when I'm cleaning the brows, so that I'll take off any excess on the brow. So you want to brush your brow first, then take off foundations or any excess product in the brows, so that you're able to see your brows and draw it out really nicely. Does anyone seen that I used brow gel here? I wanted to do something different, you know. I know most of you've seen me use pencil by default. That is what I like doing, and by all means, my favorite pencil, which is classic. So prior to when I had this, or when I did this shoot, this when I did this tutorial, I was using brow gel. You know, I liked it. Like, it was nice, though it's more tedious for me, maybe because I just started using it, or compared to maybe if I've been using it before, maybe it would have been less stressful. But I shall like it, and I reach out to it once in a while. So for this tutorial, we're using brow gel. So what I just did was get some amount of it and put at the back of my hand or palm, and make sure that the brush I'm using is flat, and I just take some from the product and try to draw my lines, my outlines, just like I would do when I'm using a pencil. And it wasn't bad after all. So here I'm just brushing all of that in and trying to fill my lines and fill up the sparse hairs, or the areas where we can't find hairs. And that's what the brow looks like. I didn't do a bad job after all. Now highlighting the brows. So for brows, most times, in fact majority of the time, I always miss my concealer with the foundations that I use, or that I used on the client or model. So here I just added a little bit of Kelvin in 08, then the original foundation that we've been using. So I don't necessarily like my concealer to be way brighter, you know, just minimal brightness. I'm fine with it, and especially under the arc area of the brows. So I'm just doing the same thing at this end, and enjoy the process. To blend both eyeshadows together so there's no harsh line, I had to use a light orange eyeshadow just to transition both colors. You see the effect right now, so there's really no harsh lines. To soften it, so there's a transition from the outer one to the inner eyeshadow and the inner one to the outer eyeshadow, just like so. Then I further went in with this dark brown eyeshadow. You know, it has this purple effect, but not so pronounced, from my 35C palette. So I'm just using it to create a wing, you know, just using it to create a wing at the outer area. For my overall powder application, I tend to use two types of powder, a slightly darker one and a lighter shade powder, which is an actual skin toned powder. This slightly darker one, I would use it on the areas where we had done our contour, just to transition, you know, and have a beautiful blend from a lighter shade to a darker shade, instead of just having a straight dark shade areas, you understand. So I can even go as far as getting close to the highlighted area, just so there's a blend, instead of having harsh lines before going in with her actual, which I'm doing now, her actual powder shade. So I used Iman powder in medium and warm. Here I'm going in with my blush palette. I did the eyeliner and lashes off camera just to save us some time. To smudge the under eyes, I used the same eyeshadow colors that I used as her transitions, starting with the light orange, then went in with a darker shade eyeshadow. You know, there's just this beautiful effect smudging under the eyes give. If she wasn't wearing contacts, you would have thought she was wearing one. You know, it gives that effect. For lip application, I had already used a lip gloss on the lips already. Now I'm going in with this colorduraine red lip stain, an amazing lip stain for the outer areas of the lip. And now going in with Milani Cosmetics red in amore. Really lovely, really lovely. So for the lips, I don't want it to be dry, so I went in with a lot of gloss than I would normally do before applying this lip stain. So yeah, I'm just going in with more gloss, yes, just to further give our lips a glossy effect. And we are done, guys. Here's our finished look. I hope you love it as much as I did creating it. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. I love you guys so much. See you in my next video. Thank you.